You know, this would take a lot less time if I wasn't filming all these angles. Anyways, welcome back. Like I said, welcome back everyone. And today I just want to do a quick video updating you on some stuff. We got some car parts, which means we're ready to get a little more work done. Just to catch you guys up, I really don't know what the last thing I showed you was, but as of recently, the engine has been taken out of the car. We have it here, try to keep some dust out of it. But we had to change or fix the seal around the coolant pump, or the water pump, and it was a job. All of this had to come off the engine just so we could change that. So that's why that's out. It's halfway done. We got some parts today. I'll show you what those are. Also, new shifter. Can't wait to try that out. But yeah, let's get into what some of this stuff is and what we are doing on the car. All right, so since my workbench in the back is pretty full of a bunch of stuff that I really don't want to move, we're just gonna use the car as our little bench today to unbox this stuff. So we have two kind of groups of stuff here. I'll go through the first because we just talked about it, and then I'll talk about the second. So I haven't opened this, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I also have car parts coming, but I think I know what this is. It's from Rock Auto. Again, not sponsored, but Rock Auto gets me stuff super fast, which is great. Actually, I think everything here is from Rock Auto. So, I mean, Rock Auto, I don't know if you sponsor people, but feel free to hit me up, you know. I'm sure all 278 of our subscribers have cars that they work on, and they would, you know, love to use you. So first things first, like I said, we had to replace well, there was an issue with the water pump. It was leaking. Wasn't sure what the issue was. If you guys don't know, I rebuilt this engine myself. First time. I don't know much about engines, or at least when I did this, I didn't know much. I learned a lot from doing it, but everything couldn't have been perfect. So if you've seen in other videos, we actually had the engine running. All was good, but when we had it running, we didn't have the coolant system hooked up. Once we hooked it up, we realized we had a leak. It wasn't a big leak, it wasn't anything major. Well, at first we had a hose leaking, that was a lot. But we fixed that, and then we realized we still had a little leak coming from behind everything that's on the front of our motor. So all of our belts and pulleys and stuff. So I tore it down, as you saw all the parts over there, and I ended up with finally getting the water pump out. Now the only issue with this is I couldn't figure out why it was leaking. From what I could tell, I've tried to get it off, which will lead to the parts here, but as I couldn't tell why it was leaking. The seal seemed good on the gasket maker that I used. Everything seemed good, so I figured maybe it was just old, maybe it needed replacing, maybe it was warped. I really didn't know. So a new one wasn't very expensive, so that's what I think is in here. And as well as that, I believe we got the thermostat housing with the thermostat as well. So this is the old one, don't need that anymore. Let's take a look at what we got. First thing, just like I said, thermostat housing. This is not for my car, this is for my wife's Jeep. I forgot we had to change that too. We did not get a new thermostat housing. We're using the old one. We just got a new water pump. So that's for Sarah's Jeep. Again, if you don't know her Jeep, I've done a couple videos on it. Actually, one kind of blew up when we did her wheels and tires for her, surprised her. Since then, we've actually put a lift on her Jeep. We were gonna do a video on that, but we decided not to. So maybe we'll do something. Maybe we'll show how to change that out on her Jeep. Oh, why not? What we're looking for, and hopefully it's the right one, is this water pump. Alright, so first thing, the reason I want to buy this is it actually has the gaskets that go with it. As I talked before, I use Gasket Maker, which I'm not a huge fan of, but at the time I bought a gasket kit for my engine, and it didn't come with one of these, and I was honestly just too lazy to wait and too impatient. I wanted to get it done, so I never actually ordered these. So I just used Gasket Maker. I'm hoping that was the issue and this will resolve it, but who knows. So we got gaskets, and then we have the pump. All right, so when we bought this engine, I have no clue how many kilometers are on it. It didn't come with a dash, so really we couldn't verify, but this is the difference between an old one, probably, I don't know, I'd guess 200,000 kilometers, and a new one. Yeah, much nicer. Anyways, yeah, that's great. So that looks good. Everything's there. Here's the back, nice and shiny. We have a nice surface to put that gasket on. I'm hoping that's good. So video coming, installing this soon. All right. Next on our list is our big box here and the little box that goes with it. So, and this is kind of the more important part in my opinion. The water pump, that was just something annoying we had to fix. This is what's important. So I've actually done a whole video on my gas tank situation. And so this engine is not from an MG, it's from a Miata. Hopefully we know that if we're watching this channel. But I was gonna use the original Miata gas tank for our fuel system. The reason being is the fuel sending unit and the fuel pump are interior. They're in there. It just hooked up. When we ran it, I know that it worked, I know that it ran. The issue was trying to mount this. In the Miata, this kind of lives in the center of the car. It's encased by sheet metal on top and below, kind of sandwiched in between the car, kind of in the middle, kind of in this area of the Miata. And so it works well in the shape that it is, but for this car, there really wasn't anywhere for it. And so I did a whole video talking about how to get that in here and how to make it work. One idea was to drop it through the floor, part of it in the trunk or in the boot and part of it underneath. Then I did some measuring and realized I could actually just use the top of these and put some more rails and take this piece of metal and kind of make a platform and just sink it in. And that actually worked. In terms of the gas tank fitting, it actually worked really well. I did lose the space in my trunk, but it worked well. The only issue was there was no good way to put this filler neck. This edge was kind of right up against here, and it just wasn't gonna work. And so I talked to some people on Instagram, and there's actually someone following me who has an MGB GT, and I believe it was her. She said that she just used the stock MGB tank, which is the same as the Midget tank, and just put a return line into it. And so I did some research and I decided, you know what, we can make that work. So in here we have the tank, and there is the thing that I'm worried most about. So if we take a look at the old tank, we can see it's in pretty rough shape. And if you look inside, the fuel inside is terrible. The inside's rusted. This tank is no good. But I wanted to use the same type of tank so that it could mount up the same type of way. The only issue is this car only has the one line going out, whereas the Miata needs a return line. This is a returnless system that wasn't working for us. So this is why we got a new tank. So let's take a look. All right, so this is the new tank. This is what that other one should look like. All right, so that last clip you saw was about a week ago. My camera died, and I'm not gonna lie, I have tried to shoot 3 videos in the last month, and each one halfway through my camera dies, and I either kept working, and so I didn't feel like picking up the video and continuing, or I've just put it on pause, and it's so frustrating. So we're gonna try to finish this video. I'm gonna wrap it up real quick for you guys. Half of what I was talking about I can't even finish because I already installed the parts, but we'll try to make it short. Let's do that. Okay, first things first, new gas tank. This is what we're gonna use. It's the original tank, just obviously a new one. The old one, not good. New one, good. The only thing we need to do to this is here is the output. The new engine, the Miata has a return system, so I need to add a return line to this. Besides that, it's good to go. I have everything else that I need to do the fuel system. I have a fuel pump, which I'm about to show you guys. I have fuel lines, so that's good to go. Let me show you that fuel pump. So in terms of the fuel pump, I had no clue what to get. The Miata has an internal fuel pump that's inside of inside of there. And so that wasn't going to work for this, obviously. So I have no clue really what I need for an external fuel pump. From all my research, what I found was that the Miata tank, or the Miata fuel system, maxes out at 85 psi or 84 psi or something like that. So as long as I got something that put out more pressure than that, we were good. But then there was also like gallons per hour, liters per hour, and honestly, we're gonna try this out. If it doesn't work, we're gonna switch it up. If you guys know anything about fuel pumps and you know what I would need for an external fuel pump for a Mazda Miata 1.6 liter just NA engine, let me know, because this wasn't too expensive. So if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. I would like to put the right thing in here. For now, this is what we're looking at. So this is actually from, which sounds ridiculous, and part of the reason I'm not sure if it's right or not. What I like about this is I can attach soft lines to it, or I can thread in the fittings that I need, not on that side. But this actually is OEM replacement for the F-Series trucks, basically, or sorry, not F-Series. It was F-Series. Anyways, for sure the E-Series Ford vans and stuff, which obviously had bigger motors, so I really don't know much about it. So hopefully this is right. If it works out, sweet. If not, like I said, we'll figure it out. That's that. The last part, I forget in the video or not if we've talked about the water pump. Let me show you what's going on with that. So I think I showed you guys in the last part of this video, I'm rebuilding the engine. Keep that nice and definitely need a new one. We're in the process of putting the water pump back on. So the water pump is actually this new looking part here. And to get at this in this engine, you actually had to go as far as taking off all the front covers, take off the harmonic balancer, take off the cam belt, the cam gears, this shield in the back. You had to take the water neck out. You had to take like so many things off. I still have a lot of stuff to put back on, including the valve cover, the top of the engine there. So a lot of work went into this. But I think since the last video I was talking about the new water pump, that is in now, ready to go. I just timed the engine, so it should be all good in terms of that. So this, I'm hoping today, maybe tomorrow, I'll finish putting that back together. With hopefully by the weekend, I have it back in the car. And then the next step is the fuel lines and the fuel system. After that, we need to fill the brake lines, make sure that's all good. But all the brake lines are in. We need to put in a clutch line to the slave cylinder, and then we just need headers, and then the car can drive. I know I've been saying that forever, but I've made like, I don't know, 2 videos in the last 8 months, so obviously there hasn't been much progress. So anyways, I want to thank Luke at Lifted Wrangler on Instagram and TikTok, and most importantly YouTube. He is getting back into his videos. He is getting motivated, and it's pushing me to make videos. So you can thank him for this video. We'll do some more updates as I do the work. One of the videos that I'm half filmed is finishing this, but honestly I just want to get it back together and put it back in the car. So maybe I'll do a video putting it back in, but that's about it. So thanks guys for watching. Sorry that this video was kind of all over the place, and sorry for the lack of videos. We are trying to put out 1 video a week now. That is my goal, even if it's something small. I realize that you guys don't care so much about the cinematography of things. You just want some updates and you want to see what I'm doing. And so I want to focus a little more on the fabrication that I'm doing, because there is, after this point, going to be a lot of kind of custom stuff going on. And I want to just show you guys the process of you know, what it takes to engine swap a Midget or an MG Midget or anything of the sort, you know, a Sprite or anything like that, because you guys seem to be super into it. So thank you guys. If you don't know who Lifted Wrangler is and you enjoy this kind of stuff, maybe not with midgets, but he's working on a 97 Prelude right now, turning it into a rear wheel drive V8 powered Prelude, which is actually super cool. So go follow him. He's trying to blow up. He's trying to do big things. And so go follow him, and make sure you give me a follow as well. Subscribe if this is your first time. Check out some of the older videos to get caught up in the build series, because we are back and we are going to continue with this. Love you guys. See you in the next one.